on to our leadership awards, where we honor our current leadership and their contributions this year before we kind of pass that torch on to the next. So, if I call your name, just come up to receive your award. Our award line section leader, Landon Taylor. Our percussion section leader. And again, I'm just going to brag on Solo for a second, because that man walked into band camp with about 8 other people who knew nothing about percussion, and throughout the season really helped me try to right that ship and get it where it needed to be. And band camp was rough. I think we all know that percussion. Once school got rolling, we got into a routine though. He was able to whip it together, and we were able to go out and compete and be awesome this year. So thank you. That was a lot of work. Our color guard section leader, Mackenzie. And then our drum major, Betsy Shepard. Next, these are kind of 2 little small, I'll call them award superlative things that I give out. I try to make a point throughout the year, starting at band camp, to really see the freshmen and the new members that have come into the program. It takes a lot of courage to walk in here and make the commitment and do the thing. And I always really pay attention to the ones that go above and beyond, and the ones that maybe silently, other people may not see it, but you catch the little things here and there. They stay late and they clean this up. You catch them practicing during lunch. You catch them like asking people for help. Those little things that a lot of people are too scared to do as new members in an ensemble. Most improved, I thought back at band camp when a certain student looked me very scared in the eyes and said, "Mr. Langdon, I don't remember any of the notes." And I said, "It's all right, we'll get you a finger chart, we'll figure it out, we'll get you caught up." And cut to the end of the year, and this student is playing grade 4, grade 5 music, sight reading it like it's the easiest thing in the world for him. So, Martine deserves this. I hope I didn't embarrass some of that. I think it's a very touching story.
Oh.
And then Rookie of the Year is an award given to, they could be any grade, but it's their first year in the band program. It's kind of like, usually freshmen, sophomores, but sometimes you grab juniors and seniors. But this student came in as a freshman, playing a different instrument. Well, I was going to switch instruments because there was a need. And so I switched this student on the instrument, and they took off with it. They've been great. They've been a great asset in this section. This absolutely belongs to Simon James. No, hang on. Can I see your award? Martine, what's it say? Hey, do a little switcheroo with me there.
I did really.
I know that two Martines.
All right. When it comes to what I call the serious awards, many of them are nationally recognized. I think there's about 6 or 7. I add a little stack to that called the Director's Award for each class. freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And I looked through at kind of what each class has and what they offer and what students do within that. So, our freshman director's award, make sure I got the right staff. They're in order. I looked at the freshmen we had this year, and we had quite a few. And a lot of them worked really hard. I don't want anyone to feel like they didn't work. I don't think there's anyone in this ensemble that didn't like give me 100% at some point. But this student definitely came in, exceptional skill, really applies himself. You can tell they take the horn home and they practice. That's a big thing. Parents, if you didn't know, they should be doing that. Please encourage them to do that. But this student performed in multiple ensembles, member of the jazz band, member of the wind ensemble, got to do a lot of extracurricular activities. So it was a pretty easy choice for me this year. Gabriel Martinez. When it comes to sophomores, I didn't know this. I think almost every brass player we have is a sophomore. Except for who?
Go Noah.
Noah's the only friend.
Except for Noah. And you. Yeah. So we have a lot of sophomores that sit on the brass line, which is a good problem and it's a bad problem in 2 years. But right now it's a good problem. So I looked at the sophomores and I thought, who is someone who goes above and beyond, who does what I ask, sees problems happen before they arise, tries to get those in the bud. A lot of hair.
Yeah, not many cheers.
Juniors. The junior and senior class, both of these classes, are kind of the biggest COVID byproducts. Because they had already made it to the high school, and in that transition, once they were here and COVID happened, we didn't keep as many as we had like new 8th graders come up. None of us really anticipated to be that way, so the junior class is actually kind of small, along with the senior class. So I looked at the juniors and I was thinking, well, who really exemplifies the director's award for that class? And this is a student who came out of nowhere. I got an email one day saying like, hey, I'm here. Can I do band? I'm like, absolutely. Like, what middle school did you go to? Oh, I'm not from here. And I'm always a little apprehensive of students who come from outside because while they tend to be good players, you never know the expectations they have from you. They've never met you before. And so when I first met the student, they were extremely shy. They were extremely quiet. But they did everything I asked. So they would often find me and say, well, like, what more can I do?
But it's cake.
And would send me videos and ask for opinions and things like that on how to become better at their craft. So it was an easy choice. All right, seniors. We have 6 seniors this year, and it's a mixed bag because I think 4 of them, 3, Landon, Solo, Betsy, 3 of the 6 have been with me from the beginning. The 2019 year when we had about 70-some kids in band, and we were in 3A, and when they were really starting to see kind of the direction it was going, and then COVID happened, and they came back. A lot of their friends didn't. So that dedication is great because it was easier to not to make that decision. And coming back and kind of feeling like we had to rebuild the program together was a really cool opportunity. But there's definitely a senior that stands out to me. Betsy Shepard. Then there is a National Directors Award. These next 2 awards are all nationally recognized awards. Band directors all across the country are giving these out probably tonight as we speak, or have already are going to do it next week. The National Directors Award is really for students that, the way I look at it, is someone the director can depend on to help them do the things that they need to get done. And you heard me mention this earlier, considering the situation we found ourselves in this year. Solo morning.
Oh, yeah!
I fully believe we would not have marched the drum line this year had solo not been really like it. The Gilmore Award is awarded for students who, sorry, there's so many, I'm trying to get them mixed up. They all kind of mean the same thing too. But the Gilmore Award is for students who are helpful both in the classroom and like in the ensemble setting and outside of that. So students who help do things behind the scenes. And there is a special student who's in a certain section who gets a ton of responsibility with a lot of very expensive equipment and has to manage that pretty much by themselves. They get other people to help them do that. So this student spent many, I think if you add it up over the season, many hours before and after practice setting things up when everyone else is already gone. So I want to make sure we honor them. Even this morning, I said I got one last job for you. Get all the sound equipment rounded up and moved to the media center. Oh, here we are. So. Wait, one more thing. We're done tonight. Really need to move it back. So if you could.
Nah, man, she already got the flag.
The National Marching Award, given to the student that just kind of lives, eats, sleeps, breathes marching band. Thinks it's one of the coolest things on the planet. Can't wait for band camp to get started so we can do more of it. I think it's funny because I know when I say this, all the kids are like, it's like the meme with all the formulas above your face, there is definitely a student who really likes marching band. They can't wait for it, I'm sure. We all probably know who it is.
Yeah.
Julian but this is like first time in my career I've had The National Color Guard Award is given to color guard members who often in these processes, I hate to admit it, they often get a little overlooked just because the contribution, they're really active and busy with us from August until we do our last parade. I mean, it's only a one semester class in the year, and the only time I get to see the color guard is when I make my way down in Farmers Room and say hey to them or I see them in the hallways. So I definitely like to give out this award to honor color guard members who work their butt off and kind of bring back the coming out of COVID situation. The year before COVID, we had 12 guard. The year we came back from COVID, we had, I guess we'll say 5. We had 5 people on the field. No, I'm just kidding. We had 5 people do that. Miss Warner had just gotten hired here and volunteered to come in and be our color guard instructor. And then at the end of last year, we said we've got to get it back to where it was. We had 8 this year, 9, and then we're slated to have 12 or 13 next year. So we have been slowly building that program back. It's been great to watch. And Ms. Varner's not done it by herself. She's had students help her, and we'll make sure we recognize Mackenzie Maddox. All right, Leonard Bernstein is a very famous composer. You may have heard some of his stuff, like West Side Story, or he also is instrumental, pun intended, instrumental in the process of taking a lot of Henry Fillmore and a lot of marches from back in the day that were not super well transcribed out, and really helped kind of get that process rolling to get marches back into like schools and things like that. So he's done a lot for the community when it comes to band. And so if I look at what student really works hard to be as musical as they could be, whether that be taking private lessons, whether that be seeking to play in other ensembles, learning to play multiple instruments, helping other students get better with their instrument, being an example in the classroom when we're doing stuff and I say, can we be more expressive? And you can hear them kind of singing above the rest of the group trying to do that and lead by example. So the recipient of the Varsity Musicianship Award, Landon Taylor. Landon played a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 instruments for me this year. He played tenor sax, soprano sax, bari sax, and then he played marimba in percussion ensemble. If you were here last year and you remember DJ, we all miss DJ. I've seen him a few times this year, and he's kept up with me on Instagram and said hey and things like that. We started an award in his name last year because all 4 years DJ, even during the COVID year, DJ let you know how he felt about what COVID was doing to band. Every day, I hate this COVID. I hate it. I just want to do band. I want to see my friends. When we got back from COVID, he was the most excited one in the room to be back. He always was. And so last year I made the decision to kind of keep that going in his name. There's always students who really care and are really energetic about band and really supportive of their peers and things. And so we started that. So this is kind of the, I guess, the first one really that's not a gift to DJ last year. So I kind of thought about, what student, like I said earlier, is supportive, is excited to see band, not just our band. It's easy when you're in band to kind of, the other bands boo. Like, no, we don't like them, we want to beat them. But this student was always supportive of other bands at competitions, always spoke highly of them, always actually was interested in what they were offering and what they were doing. Was really encouraging of other students in the classroom. You got this, don't worry about it, don't be scared of that, you're going to do great. Was really just kind of a little mini cheerleader for their peers. So, the DJ Jones Award this year goes to Jerry. See, he cares.
I do a lot.
The irony is he was in here before everyone showed up. We were helping me set up, and he was like, "Didn't you give an award until it was like a DJ?" Like, yeah, it was a Spirit Award. He's like, "What's that award?" And I was explaining it to him. It was really awkward. Granted, Jerry, it's kind of my practice run for what I'd say about you.
We saw that coming.
All right, the big one is the John Philip Sousa Award. You may not know who John Philip Sousa is, but you've heard of John Philip Sousa because you've heard marches. If you've ever heard any American military march, there is a strong likelihood it was a John Philip Sousa march. The patriotic marches you hear often played at the White House and things like that are Sousa marches. The president's march is a Sousa march. This award can only be given to one student in every band program. It is nationally recognized. Their names get entered into a national registry. You can always go back and look at previous recipients. It is given to the student who is like the band student. The one that no matter what, like they're a band student. They will always do what they need to do to help you. Along with this award, there's actually two pieces. There is a marble paperweight, as well as, I think it's down here on the bottom, so I put it out of order, a certificate. There is a pin that's supposed to come with it, that when it came in the box was broken. I was unable to order another one in time, so I apologize. I will try to get you another one if we really want. But the John Philip Sousa Award for 2023, Betsy Shepard.
Here, you take over.
So aggressive.
I'm
things I want to do before we move on to talking about next year is take a second to honor our 6 seniors this year. They're about to get a little bit of swag handed to them before they go back to their seats. So come empty-handed because I got a lot to give you. I'm going to call you one by one and just come up and you're going to stay up here. So just senior team on. Mackenzie, got it? Shania Dantes. Solo Morning. Jared Schultz. Betsy Shepard. Andy Taylor. This is their senior recognition certificate. In a second, I'm going to go one by one and kind of get the names. But wait, there's more.
Don't cry yet.
I'm saying,
I'm
who's got
really trying not to.
The band boosters this year kind of brought to my attention. It's just one of those things that the throes of everything we do, I just wasn't on my radar, so I appreciate them bringing it up to me. Was much like the athletics programs at our school. They receive letters, and for all intents and purposes, whether you philosophically agree or disagree, I'll debate you all day. Marching band is considered a sport, and so along with that, they've earned these letters.
Yes.
So we're going to start making this a tradition starting this year.
Yes.
I didn't know this was happening. They also, just like athletics, they receive their senior banners every year. These are hung up across the front of the field. And then at the end of the year, we take them back and we hand them back to them, and these are now theirs. They can do these as they wish. Some students hang them in their dorms, which, I mean, power to you. Some kids hang them at home, some parents put them up, you know, but they've earned these. We'll give these back as well.
Of course, you landed as an example.
And then lastly, they get their band medallion. This is to be worn on their stole at graduation, on their gown. I tried to get cords approved, but we might be a few years out from that, but I'm working on it. But these band pins are theirs as well to kind of honor their time in band. So I'm going to hand these out.
I did not mean to do that.
Go ahead and do corpse pride, because that was the plan for last year.
And I really just want to say thank you guys for the work you've done this year. I know it's not
Because it
been
was too morbid.
especially for those who've been with us since before COVID. Like kids like you were my directors. And it's to offer you those opportunities and give you those experiences. So thank you.
I cannot cry, or else I'll have eyeliner rolling down my face. My eyeliner's not waterproof.
Betsy seems not emotional tonight. It's because Betsy was emotional for every other day that she was in the camp program. Everything that we did, everything we did as a program to her was one last step towards being done. And so we kept a side count, and she did it, not me. But she kept a count of how many times, and then if you didn't know, she actually kind of early graduated in March. She did the band concert with us in March, and then that was kind of her last thing. So for her, it's kind of like coming out of retirement to like do band one more